No matter what anyone says, belching, bloating, and feeling gassy all the time is normal. Many people think it's just a sensitive stomach, when in fact it could be a serious gut infection like SIBO or small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. Some people even know they have SIBO, but they just can't seem to get rid of it no matter what they do. So in this video, I'm going to share 4 easy steps to get rid of SIBO and how to recognize the symptoms. Typically, when people are suffering from symptoms of SIBO or small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, like belching and bloating, they go to a GI doctor and are often told that their testing is fine. Almost all conventional gut testing focuses on motility issues or polyps and uses scopes. While scopes can be a helpful part of the time, they don't always tell the full story. With bacterial or yeast overgrowth such as Candida or even conditions like SIBO, scopes will not register them. This is exactly why most doctors aren't able to provide answers as to why people still suffer and continue to have GI symptoms. They may at that point give a diagnosis of IBS or irritable bowel syndrome because they really don't know what's wrong. Many times when patients come to me, I find that their gut dysbiosis or SIBO has gone untreated. SIBO or small intestinal bacterial overgrowth is when fecal bacteria that aren't supposed to be in the small intestine take up residency in the small intestine and start growing in large numbers. Think of this like a group of rowdy teenagers inviting all their vile friends over and trashing the house. This creates massive issues with digestion, from abdominal pain, bloating, constipation, nausea, and even skin issues like rosacea. But without the proper testing, this continues to go untreated, and medications that are prescribed for IBS or acid reflux don't address the SIBO and other gut dysbiosis. Being diagnosed with IBS is a very common reason why people seek out functional medicine, because there isn't much that they can do with a conventional medicine approach for IBS. When we test for bacterial imbalance, we usually see bacterial overgrowth in their small intestine, or there could be dysbiosis in their overall digestive tract. This is the underlying cause of their chronic symptoms like constipation, bloating, diarrhea, and gas. And it's not just limited to the digestive tract. When you have conditions like SIBO or leaky gut, these bacteria release endotoxins that get into your bloodstream and cause system-wide inflammation. So it may begin with a bacterial imbalance in the digestive tract, but over time, people can start getting other illnesses because of this inflammation that goes on in the gut. This includes depression, brain fog, joint pain, and even autoimmune conditions. In fact, some of these bad bacteria have even been linked to heart disease. This creates system-wide inflammation, and this inflammation could be the driver for insulin resistance and metabolic syndrome. When we are dealing with someone suffering from chronic digestive issues, the first step is to really test and see what kind of overgrowth is present. Once we identify the type of bacterial or fungal overgrowth, we may suggest diet modifications. If there is small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, we may go with a low FODMAP diet and limit the intake of certain fibers and sugars that are not easily digested. The byproducts of undigested food can build up and create painful symptoms like gas and bloating. And if we find that there is fungal overgrowth, we may help patients work to reduce the amount of sugar and refined carbohydrates in their diet, or things that can cause fermentation in the gut when you have these conditions. Then we bring in herbals and botanicals to remove the overgrowth and infections. We also want to make sure that you are digesting your food well, and that there are no undigested food particles in your digestive tract. We focus on many ways to improve your digestion, to help you break down undigested protein, fats, and carbohydrates. There are ways for us to measure all these undigested byproducts through tests like the organic acids test or advanced DNA testing of the gut microbiome and tests for digestive function. So once the infection is gone, which may take 6 to 8 weeks, sometimes longer, depending on how bad your SIBO is it's important that you make sure this doesn't happen again. We then work with patients to learn strategies to rebalance the digestive tract. So you learn which foods to avoid long-term, how medications can impact your gut or even contribute to SIBO, and how to support your gut with the right probiotics and prebiotics. Part of caring for your gut properly and rebalancing your health also requires stress reduction, because we know that cortisol, which is a major stress hormone, has an important role in your digestive tract health. It helps maintain the integrity of the gut lining, so we want to make sure that we address your cortisol balance and give you long-term strategies to manage stress. So if you're dealing with an IBS diagnosis and still suffering from GI symptoms, it's important to work with a practitioner like myself who can get to the bottom of your issues, find out if it's in fact SIBO, and how to finally heal it. To go deeper on the topic of SIBO, sign up for a free 15-minute discovery call where we can discuss your specific situation. Simply click the button below this video.